Hey everybody, it's me Sam here today, and today we are going to be playing with the new Bridgerton Mthrshp Belle of the Ball palette. I have a lot of thoughts and hopefully you're interested in them. If you are, continue watching. If you are new to my channel, hi, my name is Sam and makeup is my therapy. And if you feel the same way, be sure to hit the subscribe button so you can come back and see more content with me. And let's get into it. I really want to swatch some things out and compare it to the first one and kind of, yeah, show you guys how I did this look. And in the end, I will tell you if it's worth the purchase or not. So let's get started on that. So it's a $65 palette with 6 pans, much like the one previous. I'm gonna hold up the first one next to it so you can see the comparisons. And they are quite similar just based on the way that they look. All right, so here we go. These two shades here look extremely similar, and then the two bake shades here, this kind of actually is like an in-between, it looks like, from those two. You're getting a blue just like in the first one. This was the blue shade, now this one's here. It's more of a satin. You're still getting one of her like special shades, but it's more of like a pinky champagne rose gold type of thing. And then the second bake shadow in here is a true shimmer, which I'm quite happy about this. As similar as they are, I do feel like there was enough difference for me to purchase the second one and try it out. So let's go into the swatching. I also wanted to let you know that I did not pick up the blush palette. The packaging looked just so incredibly bulky. Although the formula looked beautiful on the application in her demos, I just could not justify like having to store that kind of packaging, and so for that reason it was not going to make into my purse. I did pick up one of the lipsticks and I'm wearing that now, so continue watching and I'll show you how that applied and what my thoughts are. But going into the palette, first I want to mention that I thought it was interesting that it was peach, because I felt like the main character in season 2, at least the Diamond of the Water, wore pink most of the time, and then the other main character, the sibling, wore a lot of indigos, purples, blues. So I thought it was interesting that they went with peach. And the packaging is slightly different. As you can see, this is like a pendant, and then here is like a bow, but I'm not sure, I don't know, that I'm obsessed with the look of the new one. I do kind of like this design better, but the peach color is just, it was a little off for me. It actually like doesn't even, I don't know, I feel like with the lights it matches better than it does in person, because this one is like, I don't know, more of a corally peach. It's hard to catch it on camera. I wonder, like, yeah, you can see like that versus this. You know, it's a little bit like paler, and then this is brighter. Now the cardstock does match the palette, identical, but you do see like the cardstock, this is like metallic, whereas on the packaging of the palette it's just a white. Inside the palette it says "Flawless my dear" underneath the mirror, which is exactly what it says in the initial palette. And then the names of the palette, you know, I did watch the whole season, but it did not grasp me like the first one, so I can't even reference what episodes or anything that the shade names come from. But we have the shade, all right, so here we have Refinement, Regency's Romance, Diamond's Desire, Forever Charmed, Daring Dandy, and Forbidden Amour in the new palette. So we're going to swatch those out, and then I will leave space so that we can swatch the older palette with it. So let's try for Forever Amour. And Refinement. Daring Dandy. Forever Charmed. Diamond's Desire. Regency's Romance. Quite beautiful. Now we're gonna swatch the original palettes to compare. And I'm gonna do them out of order because I want to see the ones that look similar together. So Plum Regalia. I guess it's like a cool tone, warm tone version of each other. Then we have Iconic Ingenue. Iconic Ingenue, which is right next to Refinement. They look very, very similar. Now we're going to see a definite difference between Regency Blue and Daring Dandy, because although they're both blue, Regency is the astral shade, and so it has a lot more sparkle and it has more of like a pink and blue, where this is more of an icy blue satin. Hopefully you can see that. Then instead of a gold, we have like a mauve shade in the original palette, which is Duchess Divinity, which is probably my favorite shade in this palette. It's like a mauve, really gorgeous mauve. And then we have the last two are the two baked satins. So there's not really one that matches this astral shade. All right, so I'm gonna do Love Match here, and then Art of the Swoon. You can see that this shade is kind of in between those two. The most similarities are these first three here, and then this one's kind of. And I wanted to pull in the highlighter from the first collection because it's so gold, and I felt like I instantly thought of this when I saw the antique gold in the new palette. And this is the highlight in Extreme Gold 002. And it's definitely more of a yellow gold, where this is like a dirty, like antique gold. So they're not that similar, but the formula feels exactly the same. It's pretty much like the baked highlighter formula that they're giving us here with this shimmer, which is really, really nice. So those are all the swatch comparisons between the two palettes. Now we're going to get into how I created this look. I tried to use as many shadows as possible, and I will say I did not use the Daring Dandy, the blue satin shade. I just didn't feel like it had a place in this look, and yeah. So the first shade we're gonna go into is Regency Romance, and I've already primed my eyes with my NYX Ultimate Shadow and Liner Primer. And I'm actually gonna remove the plastic from this mirror. I go back and forth on whether or not I prefer to do that or not. We're gonna go into that shade and put it just above the crease. Just because of my eye shape. Nice and soft, and I'm getting a really easy blend. believe this is Forbidden Amour, which is the darker mauve shade, and put that in the crease. Very pigmented, blends instantly, very pretty. I know it's quite dramatic, but I do want to take this Forever Charmed shade, and it's like an antique gold, and put that on the lid. I'm just very much attracted to this color. I'm actually gonna cover like the entire lid. I was gonna keep it just to that inner corner, but I feel like it looks pretty just kind of spread. I like that a lot. Now I know that these like PC special shades that she has works really well with this shadow primer that she has, so I'm gonna use a little bit of this and swipe just over the center of the lid. Actually apply it with the finger, because I like to apply everything with the finger, and hopefully that will layer that other shadow over it very nicely. The tones are a little different, so I'm curious how they will look with each other, but I mean, that's part of it. I want to see like how cohesive the palette is. If the shadows don't look nice next to each other, then like why are they together in the palette? It doesn't make sense to me. And I'm spreading it out a little just so it doesn't look so sporadic of the placement. It does look really pretty. You can tell there's lots of fallout all over, so that's why I did my eyes first. And then as far as inner corner goes, so as much as I'm tempted to go into the blue, I'm actually going to go into the shade here, Refinement, and use that as the inner corner, because I feel like the look is dramatic enough. I just wipe the brush off, and then I'm gonna kind of blend it more. And I actually think I'm gonna take that Forever Charm, that gold, and kind of bring it into that space a little and up, just because I feel like this part of my lid is pretty big, and when I keep it just here, like, I don't know, I just feel like it looks like a lot of empty space with not a lot going on. So I always like to bring my shadows in and then buff them out. So I think that's gonna be the look, and then I will do the other side and then come back to show you what the final look looks like. All right, so you've seen the look, and I have to say all the shadows performed lovely. Like, I don't know what happened, but sometime after was that Mthrshp Rose Decadence palette, the small one, everything shifted for me. That palette was such a disappointment. It wasn't the worst palette, but just for that price point, I was like, this is not worth it. And as I'm playing more and more with Pat McGrath and learning her formulas, I am enjoying them a lot more. I think I enjoyed this newer palette more than the first one. So if you haven't picked up the first one, then I would recommend picking up the second one. I just feel like this one is a little bit more diverse. Now, I was trying to create a look using as many of the shadows together to kind of create one cohesive look. And I pulled off a look, but I don't think it's great. I feel like the tones in a lot of the shades don't really go together, like the Diamond's Desire and the Forever Charmed. Like, this is way more yellow, and this one, this rose gold shade, it's kind of a rose gold shade. It's a little bit more cool tone. Yes, I managed to put it together. I don't think it looks the worst, but I do feel like they're different in tones. And the same reason why I didn't use Daring Dandy, I felt like it was too icy to go with the warm tones of the antique gold shade in here. And the more I was thinking about it, I was like, that's kind of ingenious, because you're going to get more looks with this. You're going to use the shadows differently. You're going to do a look that has just the blue and maybe this inner corner, maybe these crease shades, or you're going to do a look that just emphasizes on the gold, or a look that just emphasizes on this, and then just use these more neutral shades as grounding kind of shades to pull the look together. In comparison to the first Bridgerton palette, which is very lovely, but I felt like no matter how I did the look, because all the shades are very neutral and berry tone, I was getting the same look every time with a pop of blue. Same look with a pop of blue. Same look but a pop of blue. Whereas this one, I feel like it is a little bit more diverse than, or a little bit more versatile than the original palette. Do I think you need both? Absolutely not. They're different enough that I'm not completely, you know, turned off, but they're similar enough that it is kind of like, come on, man, like, give me something a little bit more with a twist. As far as the lipsticks go, the packaging is really, really cute. I do think it's kind of unusual that the packaging on the lipstick is this bright pop pink when everything else is that more muted peach tone, but it is cute nonetheless. The lipstick is very creamy, smooth. It glides on and it feels very hydrating on the lips. And I think that the shade that I chose, which was Entranced, really looks good on my particular skin tone. Overall, I'm really quite happy with the collection pieces that I picked up. I don't think every piece is for everybody. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. Do I think this season was better than last season? No. Do I think this palette is better than the last one? Probably. I actually think this one is the better one of the two. I don't think though that we needed both of them. And yeah, I was actually kind of disappointed initially when I saw it, because I was like, it's way too similar to the first one. Like, is this just a money grab at this point? But I will tell you, in person, it is quite different than the first one. Do I think it was more, do I want it to be a little bit more different? Possibly. I wouldn't mind seeing some other shades in here, but I do think it's quite lovely, and I'm really happy that I picked this up. I was skeptical and actually like postponing filming this because I was not excited once I received it and saw it in person, but I am happy now that I used it. Alright, that is it for this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate your time, and until next time, love you. Bye.